You're live. Meg, check it out.
Let me look.
Should be live, Jared. Go ahead and talk.
I'm waiting for Meg.
Why is this thing?
It's not showing up on here. Where would it be?
It'd just be live. Go to live. We have 0 people watching, so that's good. So this time we got it right, but nobody's watching. That's the story of my life. All right.
Is this like you finally learned how to do a cartwheel?
All right. So I promise you next week, this is the Drop Live episode 5, and I promise next week we'll have this handled. We've actually ordered new equipment because what we're doing is we're using the YouTube app to go live, and it's going directly from YouTube on my phone to your computer. So what's going to happen next week is we actually going to set up my DSLR mirrorless camera with all the microphones, all that stuff, directly to a computer, and then through the computer, use a program to do the live episode.
I'll believe it when I see it. I'm just
It
saying.
should solve the problem. So please, thank you for coming, and please come back. We will fix this problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So welcome to technical difficulties with Believe in the Run,
yeah.
episode 5.
And you might notice that Robbie's not here this week. He melted. He's in a small puddle outside the front door.
It's hot. It's so hot.
Yeah, it's. I think today my run started at something in the 80s, and it said it felt like 100 or something. What was the feel like?
I mean, I ran this morning and my singlet was attached to my body. It just,
See, I didn't. When I left the house, I didn't even put a shirt on. Like you have to go out. I went fully nude, except for the tiniest of shorts.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to save Baltimore, so.
I don't know. I think you got to start showing off what you got. And we'll do a poll later. Would you like to see Jarrett with his shirt on? So that's fine. So you actually today, I mean, you did the trail run last night with the Faster Bastards, and then this morning you got up and you did November Project?
Yeah. Do you want me to talk about that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I never had the desire to go out to November Project just because when you gotta start early.
6:30.
Yeah. So and I mean that's the same time I start to run, but I gotta be someplace at 6:30.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, there's some hugging and stuff that
And there's a lot of neon colors.
Yeah, a lot of neon
You
colors.
fit in with these.
Yeah, with our new shoes that we're
You
gonna talk
do.
about today. And we might have to hold those up higher because I think the camera is.
He would fit in with these.
Yeah.
Slime green.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing November Project?
So you
About.
know where you're.
Oh wait,
Nice, May.
Wait.
This might be too bright.
Okay, that works.
Yeah, that's.
I've been doing it for about 4 years now. It's nice. It's Wednesday and Friday. It's completely free, which is the best part because I don't like spending money on gyms and stuff.
Free workout.
Free workouts outside, and it's now in I think 51 locations around the U.S., Canada, Europe. I think there's China.
China?
I know. There's
What
one.
is it called in China? American style workout time?
Yeah, right now, November Project. But it's outdoor. It's fitness that's about an hour long, and
But you do nut stuff. Like you've gone to Boston a couple times.
Yeah.
Participated. You went to Washington.
yeah, we went out to Seattle to do the rock and roll half, and we ended up hanging out with November Project Seattle, and I met a bunch of them.
So for you, it's kind of like, hey, I do it, and I know I can meet up with people, and it's a safe environment, and you feel like it's not awkward showing up.
Well, yeah, I've actually gone out for work trips. It's I think one of the best things because I went to Austin, Texas, like 2 years ago.
You're going back this year.
I'm going back this year.
Yeah.
We'll be there with the Scoop at the running event.
Yeah, we'll be at the running event. So that's something to definitely keep an eye out for. It's a place where all the vendors come, and mostly what the running event is about is selling into retailers. So we're kind of a nuisance when we're there, but it's a good nuisance because we hype up the new shoes that are coming out. We talk to the different brands, and we can kind of see what's going to be rolling out the following year.
Yeah.
I mean, now there's not too many secrets. It's like, you know, I went 2 years ago and I didn't go back last year because I was like, when I went, I was like disappointed because most of the time the stuff has already been leaked on the internet and I've seen it. And
You could leak it though. You could
Yeah.
be the one to leak
and
it.
that's the thing. I think this year when we go, it'll be hopefully Robbie, you, me, Megan, and Dave Ames talked about coming too. So we could have a little squad. So we'll do some runs and get together. And if you're in the Austin area during, I think it's early December,
So the first week of December. I
yeah,
think.
and you want to meet us or hang out, we'd love to see you.
Yeah, we'll be there or we'll be eating tacos. I'm
Do
just
you
letting
know,
you
do you
know.
know the places?
I know the places to go.
All right.
I'm excited.
I've never had. Everybody's like Austin has this great food, and I must go to like the crappiest places.
Tacos, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I do
That's
love
like
tacos.
all that we're gonna eat.
Crunchy or soft?
Soft. Flour too. I'm not a corn guy. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. So there goes authentic.
Yeah. All right. So hey, Meg, what are some of the things that have been going on as far as the drop this week in the email? Can you give us some of the topics? I know that-
spot here.
Yeah, Megan's like, I just thought I got to sit here.
Something
I
about
wouldn't go to work.
Well, Adrian,
Yeah,
her piece.
I could talk about that. Before we get into some of the shoes, I personally have been struggling with like pre-race anxiety, and then after I had a really great training cycle going up into my spring marathon. It was one of my best training cycles I've ever had. I injury free. Most 90% of my workouts I was hitting my paces, and then we got to Cleveland. It was 45 degrees the day before Cleveland Marathon. It was 80 degrees and 80% humid the morning of the marathon, and then the next day it went back down to 45 degrees. So we had this great training cycle, and it was going to be my 30th marathon, and I was like, I really want to nail this one. I'm excited about it, and like I just knew almost immediately, like within the first 2 miles, I was like, this isn't happening today, and I'll be lucky if I can finish. Like I was so hot and miserable. This is coming straight from winter training and going into heat and humidity that I didn't know. Anyway, to get to the point, my mental state after that, when I got home from that, I thought it was okay because I was like, hey, that's out of my control. Just some things you can't worry about. And I started realizing that my desire to like get back into training, and to like, I was like, I've lost something where I'm just like, I'm signed up for Wine Glass this fall, and I was like, do I even want to go through all that pain in the early mornings and all that stuff and get back into this marathon training just to get another disappointment like this? And it's the last 5 marathons have just been super hot that I've been in. Like traditionally cool marathons, we'll sign up and they've been like 70 degrees and 100% humidity, whatever. Like we did Lehigh, not Lehigh, I've done Lehigh in over 70 degrees. I've done Steamtown, actually it felt like steam, in over 70 degrees. And it's just like, if we sign up for a marathon, watch out. Like if you're going to Wine Glass this year, watch out, it's gonna be hot.
if you're going to a marathon, you're warning people not to sign up for that marathon.
Yeah.
You can take that heat yourself.
Yeah. So, anyway, so I just had lost sort of, it wasn't motivation to run because I still love running, but I was like, how much effort do I want to put into racing? And I got ready for like even the 4th of July, I was getting ready for just an 8K.
Firecracker?
The firecracker, 6K. And, I got to the line, I just started feeling all this anxiety, and I pretty much defeated myself before I even left the start line. I just didn't want to be there. And I said, geez, I need to figure this out. Otherwise, I should just cancel Wine Glass and not waste my energy traveling and all that stuff. So I don't know if you guys read the website or check out the website, but I met Adrian in Woodlands, Texas, in what was that, January, May? Or no, March. In March, I met her just by chance at the finish line. She was like, "Hey, I've seen you guys before, Believe in the Run." And we're like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I come to find out that she is a sports therapist as far as for the brain. And she even wrote some excerpts for Kara Goucher's book. So I was like, "Hey, if you want to write for Believe in the Run, that would be great." And it turns out she did. So if you can check it out, and she just did a post, and I want to take a little credit for it because I think it was partially me going over stuff with her that I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about it. And she's like, you don't have to run a marathon. And so the latest post on the site is about that. It's like, everybody, they get into running and it's the next step. They want to go the further distance. And you see some people right out of the gate that are like, I'm going to run some trail races and I'm going to do a 50 miler. And you're like, okay, have you tried a fast 5K? Have you tried this and that? But it's not for everybody, in the same reason that going after speed isn't for everybody. Some people are happy, like, they just want to reach a certain goal, want to finish a marathon. And that's cool. And some people want to try to run a really fast marathon, and some people want to run 50 miles. And that's cool. And that article covers all that stuff. But for me personally, I've just done one session with Adrian where we are doing it over Skype, and it's already helped. Like, I started keeping a journal on some of the positive things that were going on with my running, and this week was miserable. I mean, it was hot. And
Yeah.
We were up in Philly, and I had a workout, and I was kind of dreading doing the workout. You're going to be in pain, especially when you've been drinking the night before. And Meg and I went out, and I took some of the tips and the workout stuff that Adrian had recommended, and I got through the first workout really well. And then this morning I had 13-mile workout where the last 5 miles were supposed to be a marathon or around marathon pace. And even my coach was kind of giving me a little leeway to be like, it's going to be hot. If you don't hit them, it's okay. But I went out there with a positive attitude, and I was fortunate enough Megan was out there and she wanted to pace me because she's super fast, and my marathon pace to Megan is like an easy job.
It's like walking.
Yeah, it's like walking. So she helped me out, but the point of the story is like just switching a few small things in my mindset after talking to Adrian seemed to work well. I don't think I'm there yet to just be like, I've got this mastered.
What happened?
Is there an earthquake?
Yeah, earthquake. All right, Jared, keep talking.
Okay. Well,
Here.
what?
There we go. Yes. Welcome back.
This
Welcome.
was the drop.
Well, welcome back to the drop where we dropped it. Anyway, so I'm going to do a couple more sessions with Adrian.
You know what you need? This
What's that?
comes full circle. This is the positivity. You need the November project.
He might, that'd
You know.
be crazy. That's running with you
Good
guys.
news, this is a better angle.
Yes.
Go.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so I encourage you, if you haven't read any of Adrian's articles on Believe in the Run, I think she's done 3 or 4. You should check them out. There's lots of good nuggets in there. And I'm looking forward to my half-an-hour call with her after the show. So, and for some reason, I have less technical difficulties with that. All right. So, Meg, what else we got? I know
Do you
I
want
want
to
to.
go through shoes, or do you want to answer a couple
I want
questions?
to answer some questions. Shoot.
Well, it's mostly just Robbie on here.
Oh, hi, Robbie.
Hey, Robbie.
Robbie?
And Keanu, and they want to know what's the best shoe to storm Area 51 that isn't the Next Percent.
Would this work well? Storm it like
Well, you know what? If we're going green, the turbo.
No. Yeah, but if you're not going green, why would this not
That
be
would
the
be
best
pretty cool.
choice?
Like if you're going
Are
for
you
the grades.
kidding me? This is your.
Wait, what is the distance of the gate to the Area 51? Like, how far do we have to run?
If it's a mile,
If it's a mile, like, he might have it.
but there's strategy to that because you don't
You
want
can't
to
cut
be
back and forth in that, I don't think. That's not good for corner.
you don't want to be the first one out. So if you were trying to go really fast, you would want to kind of like wait like a few minutes and then take off in these.
So you're doing
The
the,
first people are-
Normandy Beach?
The first people are getting picked off. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
They're not making it. They're
Said probably 10K.
A 10K?
10K. Okay.
I might. I mean, you could go with the Rebel, but you know what might also work is you could go with something like the Vibram Five Fingers, because then you look like an alien when you get up there. What's Robbie want? What's up, Robbie?
Raphael said, are you guys still using your Ultra Boost 19?
I am. It's funny that you should ask that. I just used it. I wore it yesterday, but only for casual because we've got to get miles on shoes that we're testing. So we're wearing the shoes that we have, but I still love the Ultra Boost 19. I think style-wise, can't be beat. I mean, I love the look, and it's almost like a classic already.
Okay, we'll answer one more question, then you can dive into the
All right.
shoes. John has a problem with pointed toe boxes in the Nike shoes. How are the Zoom Fly 3?
The Zoom Fly 3, right here, is pretty pointy. So, like, if you have a problem with narrow pointy toes, it definitely comes in, and especially on the outer edge here, if you don't have like a progressive big toe, little toe, like harp looking foot, then you're gonna have an issue in the shoe. But I mean,
The good news is that there's a lot of other brands that aren't Nike out there, but then you won't have this green shoe. That's so.
yeah. I mean, what would you go for? I mean, I think the Rincon, the Hoka Rincon, is a pretty good shoe that has a pretty decent toe. Meg, you didn't have any issues with this toe, did you?
I didn't wear that shoe.
Oh, Meg didn't wear it.
So
No
she didn't
Rincon
have
for
any
her.
problems though.
Yeah, no shoe, no problem. I mean, yeah, I would try different brands, and I know that's tough, especially when the fire keeps coming from Nike. But I have to tell you though, between the Vaporfly, the Zoom Fly 3, and the Turbo, I'm really liking the Turbo too. And that'll come to you as a surprise if you watched my review of the original Turbo that I did not like. I thought, what's the point of this? It's just an upper change. The midsole is going to be the same. But the shoe feels totally different than the original to me, and I really love it. This is the shoe that I wore on, I took one shoe to Philadelphia when we went up there. And I had a workout that was 2 mile warm up, 1 mile at 6 something, or not 1 mile, 1 minute at 6 something pace, and then one cool down minute, and back and forth times 15. If anybody's writing this down. And then 2 mile cool down. But we ended up running longer. We did the minute pickups and back and forth, and we ended up running longer, and we ended up doing 10 miles in this. And believe me, you know how hot it is right now. And these were soaked wet, like they still smell. It smells like. Oh, you want to smell it?
No, I just want to know how many either cheesesteak or pretzel places you stopped at in between that run.
You know what, Meg? Did we have one pretzel or cheesesteak?
No.
No.
What's the point of going to Philly?
We drank martinis and ate seafood. Yeah.
I-
And it was nice. What was the name of the park? We went to, if you're familiar with Philly, the running route was really cool. It's along
Something.
this river. And then we went to, what was it called?
Written something.
Rittenhouse Square. And that was cool. I dug it. So, and we're going to be going back up there. My brother-in-law's moving up there. Yeah.
Cheesesteaks and pretzels.
Yeah. So this Turbo is going to get a great review for me. It's coming up. I'm waiting on, I got these a little bit before Megan and Robbie got their pair. So they're going to give their feedback. Megan doesn't seem wild yet. I think she's going to come around. I think it takes 2 or 3 runs in this to really kind of.
You were talking about you didn't know how you'd feel because it was just the upper, but wasn't that the same thing with the Pegasus? So does that mean next year is going to be...
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much they'll change. They'll probably just change the look and feel of it. I mean, like maybe the point will be gone. I don't know. Some people are complaining about the Turbo kind of losing an iconic look, like that stripe made it look like a special shoe that was different, and this one kind of looks bland in comparison. But what are you doing?
Looks like the Pegasus.
Yeah, and people are like, why am I going to spend $180 on a shoe that doesn't look like a piece of artwork? But that's up to you. But let's get to the exciting one. Vaporfly next. It seems pedestrian at this point because everybody can get a hold of it. It used to be like, oh look, I've got this, I'm special. Now it's, oh
Who doesn't have
yeah,
it?
who doesn't have Vaporfly next? Yeah, but today was my first run in it, and I did a 13-mile run. Like I said, the first 8 were easy. You know, it's an interesting shoe at easy because it doesn't feel bad. Like if I had a stack of these and these were the only shoes I had, I wouldn't have a problem running my daily miles in it. But it really does shine when you're trying to go those faster paces. And it's not even like my paces for my marathon pace are lightning fast. I was running the last 5 miles at around 7:40 pace or under. So what I found interesting about the shoe is it felt great at that. The effort expended did seem a little less than maybe in some other shoes to keep that pace. But overall, the comfort's really good. And one of the things about the upper that I think is going to be interesting, I'm going to mention in the written review, and I'm going to save it for the written review. I'm going to do something that's different between this and the Flyknit that I think people will be interested in. You'll be able to check that out. But the shoe is light. People were worried about the cosmetic stuff on the Flyknit one. And you can see, I mean, take a look at it.
Yeah, I had 2 questions about this. First was, does this seem like a shoe that's going to last longer than the 4%?
See that I think so, but on the other thing about it is not just that it's going to last longer than the 4%. I think most people just got confused on the 4% because it looked like you could visibly see the shoe.
I mean, they look like
Getting
they
scuffed
would
up.
get destroyed.
Like here, look at the bottom of these. So
Yeah.
and where you saw a lot of people would have shredding was along this lateral edge, and you can see I kind of have, I don't know if you can see that, but a little bit of wear here on this lateral edge, whereas this shoe not only kind of tucks in more under this arch, it's got 2 rubber pads,
Yeah,
on
so
each
it's got
side.
some harder rubber.
so that's going to protect at least the cosmetic look of the shoe a little bit better than the old one.
And then my other question was, with the upper, I mean, this, what, the Vaporweave is so, I mean,
Sorry
this is
they're
like,
so wet.
I know, it's,
It's
I'm gonna wash
gotta
my hands.
wash it.
This is like paper thin.
Yeah.
Is this, how's this holding your foot in?
It actually does a better job than the Flyknit.
Really?
Yeah. And the offset lacing, at first, when I first put them on this morning, I thought the offset lacing was a little weird. But it actually does a nice job because the tongue is super thin, so you're not having that pressure right over the top of your foot. It kind of brings that off to the side where you have a little more flesh. And then really nice heel counter in the back added into this. So, I mean, fit-wise, this was definitely the best fitting upper of the Vaporflies. And I think it's going to be a hit, and you're going to see, if people are taking their marathoning serious and they can drop a little extra coin, you're going to see this at a lot of start lines.
Start line's gonna be green.
Green, white, and there's a rainbow one, and then the one I really want to get, there's a hot pink coming up. And I just think it looks, it might be the wine glass shoe. Because I'm gonna trash these between now and wine glass.
It's just, with this offsetting, it looks like you got a really poor bootleg from China.
Yeah. Who made this thing?
And they were a little cockeyed on it.
Yeah. But yeah, first run successful. Like to be able to hit my paces in the heat and the crap that we had today, I'm super stoked. That was it was a nice.
It's all up here. It's all up here.
Yeah. So between Dave coaching me and Adrian coaching my brain, maybe we can get somewhere. Good luck. All right. So hey,
Yeah, right? New Balance. the other N brand, shoe brand. These are the 870 V5, which happened to go away for a few years into hibernation, and now it's back. It is going to be a stability shoe because it has, this harder. Yeah, it's got the hard rubber post in here. I mean,
it's pretty dense.
yeah, but it doesn't feel heavy. Well, that one's got the paper in there.
The paper is like at least 3 ounces.
Right? This doesn't feel that heavy, I feel like.
That doesn't feel that.
It does not feel that heavy.
What do you think of the looks of this shoe?
I like it. I think that the yellow highlights kind of going around it,
Mm-hmm.
it's enough that it's not super obnoxious and in your face. Like, you can't wear, yeah, we haven't gotten to that yet. You can't really wear this out, in my opinion. It's gonna clash with everything. If you want to look good, I just don't see this slime green shoe.
You just
being
stand up and show
obnoxious.
the shorts you're wearing.
I know,
It's like,
right?
This is the man who knows how to look good going out.
John G. No, it's John G. They're
Yeah.
saving the world. Water.
Yeah.
But this is just enough of like coolness with, your navy and gray that's gonna go with everything. And then the pull tab. 2019, it's the year of the pull tab. I'm declaring.
You know what's crazy?
They're late to the game.
Look at this.
Why don't they know about the pull tab?
Not a pull tab in sight.
Could you imagine though if there was?
There was on the original Vaporfly.
Yeah, there was. And people
Because you
loved them.
couldn't, because you couldn't get the shoe on otherwise.
Well, no, not the original make, the Vaporfly Flyknit.
The
Flyknit?
Flyknit, yeah.
Yeah. And the React. I think actually the React was the first one kind of made it mainstream for road running.
Well, it's full steam ahead, pull tab, and I'm cool with it. I really am. That's
I
just me.
don't know. I kind of like a pull tab. It may be what we thought of spoilers in the 80s, like on the back of the cars, and maybe, it'll someday go away.
Well, I don't want to ruin too much, but I just got done my miles with the Escalante 2, the Ultra, and I wish there was a pull tab on the back because
Snug fit.
I feel like I'm sweating as hard as I was this morning after my run, just trying to get the shoes on.
So how soon can we expect the review for the Escalante?
Well, I believe other reviewers, I guess you're cool enough, so you got them early, but other reviewers are getting them in, I think, this week.
I think we should go ahead and publish your review and just add their stuff to it. I mean, because nobody has a foot as good for Ultras as your foot.
Yeah, my foot fit in it. Just needed a pull tab.
Yeah. It's like, when they say foot shape, they really mean Jarrett foot shape.
It's not Nike foot shape.
No.
Those are two different things.
Yeah.
I have not seen enough of this. This is literally me seeing this for maybe the second time, but
Do you like the Jacquard knit upper?
yeah, everything looks nice about this shoe. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see. There's not anything the outsole.
You were disappointed with the Bongo.
I was disappointed with the
What's
Bongo.
going to be the difference between this Stability New Balance and the Bongo?
So they're both. Last year, the Vongo was, I think, one of my favorite stability long run shoes, where I could just push for long runs, and I didn't have to worry much. This year they added that weird sock knit, the collar to it, which didn't do anything. It was just kind of.
I felt like sizing was off a little bit on this year's models. Like,
Yeah.
forget which one those were. Maybe what was the one that you really liked a lot? And I was like, I get a little ill slept on that. I thought it ran big. It was like a black one.
The
1080 maybe.
1080, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a 1080. Like, and this one I like because it does have the regular traditional collar. I mean, I think they went, like, New Balance did a great job of moving the look forward, but like with these molded collars, and the same thing that you had on the Beacon, it's kind of like this folded, this molded panel here.
If they flared it out like the Beacon,
But that was the problem. I was already getting heel lift, so you'd think that that little flip back would lock it in.
Yeah.
And yeah, this was a 1080. Megan really loved this shoe, and this one I was met on. I was like, man.
The Vongo, same midsole and everything, and I promise you, it feels so much tighter around my foot, to the point where it got uncomfortable running in, and that was a huge bummer. So then I saw that they were bringing this back, and as people are aware, they got rid of the Vasey Prism. They phased that out, bring it back.
Prism.
Vasey. This is America. I can say
Vasey.
what I want.
Baby.
And I've heard that this is going to be similar to that in, I mean, maybe that firmer but also fast feel to it. I'm excited to get into these.
What do you think you're gonna try in those? Like first, like would you do it? Are you gonna do a long run this weekend? Would you try these, or were you gonna wait?
I might wait to see how they feel first, because if I'm dying in the middle of a long run in this heat, I also don't want my feet to hurt. So I want to know that I can wear these first, because these aren't wide, but they come in wide.
Why aren't those wide?
I know, right? I don't know, Robbie.
I don't think it was Robbie's fault. I think that was.
But it's easier to blame him because he's not
Okay.
here.
Yeah. Then it was Robbie's
He
fault.
can't defend himself.
He's so insensitive. Then he goes and hides.
Yeah, I don't know much about the 870s, but they've got to have. There has to have been some sort of demand for it if they brought it back after such a big 4 or 5 year hiatus.
You think that's what it is?
There's got to be. I don't know why you randomly just.
Because you're like, hey, we got a new shoe here. What do you want to call it? Should we give it? You know, we can call it Fresh Foam Rimless. And they're
Well,
like, no,
hopefully-
why don't we just call it 870?
Yeah, they pick a name they already have.
Yeah. I mean, they just call it the 870.
Yeah, those would be the
It's
52,
been so-
88 one.
It's been so long, nobody knows what it is.
Yeah. It looks like a nice shoe. I'm excited to try it out, and hopefully this will be the New Balance stability shoe that I've been wanting.
Yeah. All right. I mean, most of the other,
Questions?
yeah, we got more questions, but most of the other shoes that we have this week on the drop were actually reviewed by other reviewers, including Robbie, who is not here.
Brooks Rebel 3, Hoka 11, Hupana, Saucony Liberty ISO 2,
Yeah.
and Adidas Solar Boost.
Dave and them really liked the Brooks Rebel 3. They thought it was a better shoe than the Launch. So if you're looking for a Brooks shoe to replace the Launch, and you're kind of a little disappointed with the Launch, Rebel 3 sounds like the way to go. And it's an affordable shoe too. He said, it was like Dave, one of his comments was this would be a great shoe for somebody on a budget or something like that, because it's got a really nice feel, nice ride for like kind of a do-it-all shoe at a very good price point. And Hupana was, Robbie reviewed that. You can read the review online. Basically, I love the original Hupana, and they marketed it as a lifestyle shoe, but it was actually great to run in, and I think Robbie experienced the same thing.
I think you just reviewed the Adidas, the Solar Boost ST.
Yeah.
I read that this morning. He seemed,
Austin.
yeah, Austin. He seemed to like it.
Yeah.
I think his complaint was about the heel, but I was shocked that that was a $160 shoe.
Boost, man. They try to get a premium for that. I think the reason they're so expensive is that Adidas still has to pay the chemical company that came up with the Boost. They have to pay them back money. But yeah, or license it. I don't know. Any other questions? May.
Raphael wants to know about the New Balance Beacon V2.
This
Yeah.
guy loved it.
I love that shoe.
Tell them what shoe you're talking about.
Yeah, the Beacon V2. It's got the same midsole and outsole, but the upper they changed. They added the flare out to the heel because people were complaining about heel slipping or I think rubbing on the heel. Got none of that at all. I mean,
Yeah, I can imagine too
um,
much rubbing, but
yeah, I thought it felt absolutely phenomenal. For my wide shoe, I thought the
was
front.
it almost too wide?
It's not so much that it was wide, it's that the the upper and the foot, the forefoot was a little sloppy. It was too much upper. They could have kind of dialed. Yeah.
Like I have to, like on the turbos, I have to bring these together so I get like a puckering here.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that puckering, but it was purely kind of cosmetic. I never noticed it once I was running, and the lockdown in the midfoot and the heel was so great that I've been continuing to run in that. I think I have almost 100 miles in them.
Whoa. And for somebody getting new shoes almost weekly lately,
Yeah,
you know, that's a
and
lot.
I sold them. Allie got them. She loves them. As
Oh, she does,
someone
right?
who has been having issues with all the shoes.
Wait, why did it, yeah, his fiance is a princess in the pea when it comes to shoes. Like, I feel rubbing and heat. Anyway. Wait, that sounded bad.
Yeah, you're gonna hear about that.
Wait, it sounds sexual.
She didn't like the Pegasus 35,
No.
and she didn't like
36. Or no,
the
it was
5.
she did the 5.
No
wonder.
and then she didn't like the launch, and these
Wow.
she like loves. I don't think she's used
How come
to.
she was so hesitant to try the Beacon in the first place? Because like you had told her you liked it.
I don't know.
She's also excited about the Propel, right?
Yeah, she is excited about the Propel based on what I've heard her say. So Running Warehouse, you need to get that on your
Let's
website.
get it. Let's start selling that. Our review is up.
Okay, if you could only have one of the Turbo, Vaporfly, or Zoomfly, what would it be?
If I could only have one for everything, I think I would go with the Turbo too. I can't believe I'm saying it. Like, literally a shoe I panned last year, and now it's turning into like, I feel like it really ran well when I was picking up the paces in the workout, and it's comfortable enough. You can go long miles in it. It doesn't feel bad when you're going slow, and it feels good when you're going fast. So I think
It's
it's
saying a lot because you didn't even want to review the two.
no.
You dislike the one that much.
I was like, what? It's not going to be different. What's the point of reviewing it? And now, like, it's like typically, I won't think about buying a shoe, and this is one that I'm like, I wonder what colors will come out next. Maybe I'll get another pair of these at some point.
Green?
Nah, I've seen a black charcoal color, but I don't really like that. I think what I would really like is like a classic toned down white with like a nice swoosh. Maybe red and black or blue.
Keanu just threw $20 your way, says thank you for your content.
Yeah. It was,
Justin says, design your ultimate dream shoe by selecting and combining your favorite existing upper, midsole, and outsole. What would it look like?
ooh, my favorite all-time shoe.
You're designing it.
Am I racing or am I doing
Your favorite
Hey, Justin,
midsole,
no.
outsole.
Jeez.
like favorite midsole ever? I love the React, but like my mind has changed on that a little bit. Like I really like the Epic React. I think it's a do-it-all shoe. One of my favorite shoes of all time, upper, bottom, everything. This was a great shoe. This is one of my favorites. And I think if I don't know if they can do the laser stippling they did in this to the React, but this shoe is still one of my all-time favorites. And I don't even like knit uppers, and this upper worked really well. And the same thing with the Epic, the knit upper works really well. So I'd probably go, what's the matter?
It froze.
I'd probably go, I don't know, all-time favorite upper? That's a tough question. I love the Streak 6. Maybe the Streak 6 upper
I know it's new
on an
and
Epic
and
React midsole, but maybe throw
What about the
a carbon
Rebel
plate in
upper?
it. The Rebel upper I like on the Rebel. I don't know, I mean, it's actually kind of similar to this. I don't know that I would actually use the Rebel upper over this.
Yeah, but
You're looking for the Rebel?
where is
The
it?
Rebel on the
It's
floor.
there.
There we go. You know what? If you could take the Rebel upper and put it on this shoe, it'd probably be a pretty decent shoe. But then it would probably feel a lot like the Rebel. I mean, these are they're very similar. The Rebel is a really nice shoe. The flare out kind of bothers me a little bit on the Rebel, just because I feel like it pushes my foot in. I'm not really answering your question, Justin, other than telling you I really liked this guy right here. The Lunar Epic, which was freaking awesome. It was weird looking, and I liked that it was weird looking.
This is.
Are you guys testing the Max Road 4?
We are. We will be testing the Skechers Max Road 4.
Teo says he wears a US 11 in the Beacon. Do I have to half size down in the 1080 V9?
You know, I might. I mean, that was the problem. The 1080 felt a little big on me. What I would probably do is if you can order from Running Warehouse, order the 2 sizes, try them both, send one back. But for me, I felt like the 1080 ran about a half size big.
I didn't run in the 1080, so can't help you there.
You can feel it though, and be like, feel the half size big.
Oh. It looks like it could be.
Yeah, definitely. Any other questions, Meg?
Nope.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we appreciate you checking up with us. And we will work out the technical difficulties, as I've said.
Well,
every episode
we've
so
learned
far.
it's YouTube's
Oh
fault.
wait, question.
Oh yeah.
Cody said when you rock the Hoka Rincons, do you have any issues with your calves?
I haven't had any issues with my calves with the Hoka Rincon. I think that it has a lower drop, so maybe is this Cody Jet?
Mm-hmm.
And Cody, you're probably coming from a higher drop shoe. You like the Nikes, don't you? I think I think you like the Nikes, if I can recall, which are going to be like 10 millimeter drop, and then you drop it down to the Rincon, which I think it's a 4 millimeter drop or so. I'd have to double check that. So it could cause a little bit of calf issues, but I would just warm up those calves, stretch them before the run, and you should be fine. Maybe foam roll 'em. If you foam roll 'em. I love foam rolling. Pro tip, foam roll.
Foam roll and then get in your boots, your compression boots.
Oh, I haven't done Air Max in a while. I put it away in the closet to hide it because it looks weird when it's sitting by your bed.
That's
But I think that's a good call. I think I'm going to break those out today and treat myself. But yeah, I want to thank everybody for showing up, and we will work out the problems. We've ordered some new equipment. We're going to try a new configuration, and hopefully we might even do a different software that feeds into the YouTube, so we're not going directly live from YouTube, and it should solve the problem.
yeah.
And I've invited some other people to come on the show, so maybe like one of these days it'll be me, you, and Robbie and Jeremy Ardenai. It could be me. I want Gavin to come on. He says 1 o'clock time is tough, but we want to get some of the local runners here that we love and respect and have great shoes on here to talk about the shoes they like. Jeremy and Gavin are both wicked fast runners. Jeremy went, what was his last marathon? Maybe he like dropped an hour off his marathon. He's like, I think he's like, is he in the 220s?
I think he dropped 2 hours. I think he did like a ridiculous 440 and then like
Had the worst
230.
opening marathon ever, and then went to 220 or something like that. So he's just picking off any race around town that has money offered as a prize.
Don't run around here.
Yeah.
They're too fast.
Yeah, Jeremy's gonna come and just take the money and go. Even if
And buy more Nikes.
So we're trying to get him on the show, and anybody else, if you're in Baltimore and you'd like to stop in, be on with us live, let us know.